Hey guys, welcome back. It's good to be here again. I had a stream early this morning and we had a pretty productive stream. It was kind of fun. Went out in the hot weather out in DC, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, really warm, like 33 degrees Celsius, to the grocery store and came back and had some emails from contributions and thoughts and issues, and I thought I wanted to get online again to look at those, review them with you guys, and to continue working on some things we didn't have a chance to finish early this morning. It's too long until Tuesday, so better to get going, I think. So if you're joining, welcome. If you're reviewing this later afterwards, that's awesome too, and hopefully you'll catch up on things we are doing. Cool. So some of the things I wanted to look at here was some of the things that have been going on. I do think Daniel, some other people have some issues opened and some PRs that we want to review. So we should probably look at the activity here and see where we can go from there. So let's go to repo and review some of the activity we have had in this repo so far. So I think we have one PR open, and it's from Steve Ashman. That's awesome. Thank you, Steve. I don't know exactly what he has been doing here, so let's review it. So he linked this to issue 42, and I think he has a work in progress. Okay, so we probably don't want to do this yet, but let's review kind of what he's done so far, because I think he added some questions here. So what he's doing is adding a directory build prop, directory build targets, a version JSON root. Okay. To do some versioning on the mlops.net library. That's pretty cool. Awesome. And got some versioning in there. Let's review some of the documentation here. Nice. Alright, and builds. So what he wants to do is PR packages publish. We have to look at that for sure. Public release CI packages, separate action. Yep, I think we need that, Steve, if you're viewing this. And some other fun things. Okay, cool. So he generated document file with this, so the NuGet package contains an XML doc for IntelliSense. Okay, nice. And we need to add some more stuff there. So I think it makes sense to kind of fix these in the same thing here. Actually, we can have a separate issue for that. So let me mention that to Steve, and let's open an issue for that. Let's write him real quick here. Let me open a new issue for public comments. Okay, let's go ahead and add that. So what we want to do is we want to add an issue here for a new feature here. So we'll say add comments, summary comments, public variables and methods for IntelliSense. Okay. In order to provide good IntelliSense for our NuGet package, we need to add good XML documentation for our public properties and methods. Great. And we can actually do that as documentation, even though it's cannot read documentation. It should be good first issue. We'll submit that. That's going to be issue number 52, and we'll link that here. Created 52 to track this. Let me know if you have anything else to add there. Dan, yeah. Welcome back, Dan. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. I need to go back to do some work here. I may play with Blazor. I think Blazor server is definitely the way to go. Thank you for the suggestion there. But right now I wanted to review some issues and PRs and thoughts from people who want to contribute. We already have Steve Ashman here doing some work, and he joins one of the .NET meetups I organize. And I do want to check what he's done here. So he has updated the YAML file here that we have, and he has done a solution, makes sense. And he has added published package as artifact. Okay, and then he has added some other fun things here as well. Build targets in the source. I definitely need to see this in action though to make it work. Build props. Nice. That's some good work here, Steve. Thank you very much for doing this. And we removed each of them from the respective project. That makes sense. Okay. And we have these warnings here that we need to go ahead and do as well then. Okay. That makes a lot of sense there. That is really awesome stuff, Steve. Thank you very much for doing that. Alright. So, we reviewed one PR, at least we gave him some input to Steve if he's going to continue doing that. And I think there was another comment as well from I believe it was Sammy. And let's see which one that was on. I go to my GitHub profile to get some updates here and see what we have. That was Steve's. I think that's something I already did. Okay, yes. The example solution. That's I think where Sammy had some thoughts here. So let's see. We had some discussions going on earlier, and then Daniel has some ideas. So let's see. What does Sammy say? I've been working through a possible example. I'm doing it with SQLite because I don't have an Azure account yet. I've also been viewing recent streams and catch up with everything. In addition, I've been catching up on contributing guidelines and working through the forking and pulling new updates. Okay. As for example, the sample data set is borrowed from MLNet samples. It's a taxi, for example. Okay, that's nice. It's a good example, I think. I want to be able to see which data columns and their corresponding transform from the training run, so I can compare the run in each experiment, see which pipeline produces the best accuracy, for example. Is there a way to serialize and save iTransformer pipeline using training to store with a run? Interesting. Recent posting issues for now brought me to asking this question. I'm also seeking guidance that I'm on the right track. Also do resort. Okay, so Daniel's going to fix the bug today. That's nice. We can definitely add an issue for that. So what? I don't think that's exactly what we want to do. So what does Sammy want to do here? Let's see. And Sammy, if you're on the stream today as well, definitely chime in here, so I don't say anything unnecessary. Okay, let's see. I am finding that the pipeline engineering pipeline is important in valuing your final model's metric. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I want to be able to see which data columns and their corresponding transform from the training run, so I can compare runs in each experiment, see which pipeline produces the best accuracy. I don't think there's a way to serialize down the pipelines in MLNet. That's a very interesting thought Sammy has though. I like that thought. I wonder if something that we want to do, is it useful or not? That's the question. So what Sam is saying is when we build this, oh, I see. Okay, so the way we would actually do this in real life is we wouldn't necessarily have to store the pipelines in a serialized format. We would actually have feature branches instead for each of the machine learning models we want to create, and that will be tracked with this. So let me answer Sam here. Great question and insight. Actually, don't think we need to store iTransforms in a real. What I believe we would do in a real world example is actually have different feature branches for each variation of the model. Does that make sense? I wonder if it does make sense, because will we actually do that in the real scenario? Will we have that? Because if we tweak, let's say we run one experiment and we run one run, and then we see it's like 70% accuracy, and we adjust the pipeline to have a different transformation. So let's say we do one hot encoding on our string columns instead of featureized text. Would I then want a different feature branch, or would I just want to do that? That is a great question. I think I'll still answer this and we can talk more about it. Model training. See your point though, that it may not be practical to have a new feature branch for small tweaks that we want to run. So serializing the entire pipeline may be something we actually want to add as a feature. But maybe right now. I think so, at least. I think it's a really awesome thing we want to do, but it may be a little bit too much right now. So I think that's a good start, and we'll see kind of where it takes us, and we'll go from there. I think it should be too much otherwise. And Daniel's gonna fix that bug. Did we add a new issue for it or not? Okay, he added a new issue for it. This is great. Let's add a comment here that we are happy. So Daniel's gonna fix this bug. I'll add this as a bug here, and I will say thank you. That is great. Okay. All right, so let's do some coding, because one thing I missed this morning was doing some more coding. So I want to do some more coding, and I want to do it for us right now, and then we can go ahead. And I want to also play around with the Blazor server a bit and play with that. But to get things started and to make myself happy, I'm gonna do some coding here real quick. So one thing I want to do here, and I added an issue, a thing for it here, is to create an experiment and run in one call. So I want to be able to do that in a simple way. So right now, for example, when we do experiments runs, what we do here is we go ahead and maybe I should do the comments as well later today. What we do is we create an experiment like this, and then after that we get back the ID of the experiment, and then after that we call a run here, create a run and get back that, which is fine, but it ends up being 2 lines of codes. So let me get that over here, close this one. So what it ends up being, if you run the program, is 2 lines here. So we have one for creating experiment, one for a run. It's a little bit verbose for me. I think what we can do is actually have 1 line here instead to create the run directly and just pass in the experiment ID or name, and that should kind of do it for us. So I'm going to create an overload for creating runs here to make it a little bit simpler for us instead. So what I was thinking of doing is doing something like this: public async task GUID create run async, and instead of passing in the experiment ID, we'll just pass in the experiment name here directly. And this is going to be a very simple method. We'll call ensure storage provided to make sure that we throw an exception if you haven't decided on Azure or SQLite. And then we're going to call 2 things in after each other here. First one is going to do is create run experiment async experiment name. We are going to fetch that experiment ID, and then we're going to go ahead and return await the data store Actually, we're gonna return the create run async with the experiment ID passed in. Does that make sense? So instead of having to use 2 lines of code now, we can use 1 line of code. And we'll go ahead and add some comments here. Creates run and an experiment in one operation. Okay. I'll do unique name of experiment, and it will return the run ID. Like that. All right. So that should be just good. I'm going to open up a branch for this issue, and actually what I want to do first is I want to build this, and I want to copy these things over, and I will just use our script that we created early this morning by changing this to 3, build this again, and use a script. So building the packages here, and we should have the source here somewhere, and we should be able to go into the scripts folder and just run this one here, and that should be able to let's open that up, copy them over directly, and here we are. Let's see if this starts up. My PowerShell is prompt. Didn't do much. That was funny. I thought I had committed that already. Let's see what's going on here. Let's remove all these packages. Oh, it's because I added a new folder actually. So we do need to change this script, and we can do that as a separate commit, but for now we'll do that. That should hopefully work better. There we go. All right, good stuff. So now we can go ahead and update our example application here with the new version, and try that model and method instead. And hopefully that's going to work better. So instead of doing these 2 lines of code here, that is kind of verbose, I want to do 1 line of code instead. So I should be able to say create run async instead, and just pass in the experiment name here. And that should be a little bit easier. And that should automatically create run for me. That looks nice. I like that. A little bit smoother is always a good thing. Hopefully you all like it as well. If not, that's okay. Alright, I'm going to open up a PR for this and get it pushed. So we have issue 49 here. Continue work on this today. Branch, new branch. Issue 49. Create simple run. Create run. Overload. Create branch. Bring my changes with me. Get going. So if you just joined today, we are doing the second stream of the day today, and we're continuing working on the repo today, and I'm adding some simple methods right now for functionality. I do think I need to take a step back and look at some overarching things as well instead, but right now I just want to have some things get done here. So we added create run overload to create run an experiment. Nice. Push it up. Publish the branch. We'll go ahead and open a PR with this change. So let's see. Open a PR right here. That should give us our pull request template that we already have. We'll call it add ability to create run and experiment in 1 line. And this should resolve issue 49, so 49, that's good. both the run and experiment in one line. Perfect. This could be an enhancement. I'll assign it to myself, create a PR. We'll let that build real quick. And we'll get this merge. And that should be good. So how's the weather where y'all are? What are your plans for the weekend, apart from enjoying the stream today and hanging out with me? Thank you for doing that, by the way. Anything fun going on? Okay, let's see. Alright, this builds, perfect. So I'll go ahead and merge this PR and get that in there. Okay, so what we can do next here is, I think what we're going to do is add the summary comments on all variables, so it's more consistent at least, and get that done. So I'm going to assign myself this issue, and I'll go ahead and work on this as well to get that flushed away real quick here. And what we can do here is look at the PR that Steve was working on here and see what issues we have here, because I think he has some warnings here. So we need to, okay, so we need to have comments on all of these to be able to have them to make sense here. Okay, so that's going to be quite a bit of comments, but that's okay. That's something you definitely want to do and get working. So I'll go and just chime into that. So all the public things here need some comments, so we'll go ahead and add that here. Unique experiment. Entity holding information about a unique experiment. We'll do this. Oh, that's not very professional. That's fine. Name of, so unique name of the experiment. And this one's going to be ID of the experiment. Okay. Continue doing that on our metric here. So metric associated with a given training run. Let's call it that. I think that makes sense. Name of metric. Example, accuracy, F1 score, or precision recall. Give some examples here. Metric value. Give this unique run ID. Okay. I don't think actually should be able to set this publicly. So that's something we should look at later, but that's okay. We'll continue down this line here. So for the run here, unique run for a given experiment. Unique ID, run ID. Date of run. Okay, that sounds good. So what I want to do here as well is make sure we kind of just align things a bit here. I do think we have an ID on the metrics. I'm a little surprised that we don't see that here. Don't know if I pull down the latest changes here. Let me have a look here real quick to see if that's something we want to do. Well, I think I fetched the last changes, so that should be fine. Okay. That's okay though. That looks good. Metric name, run ID. We'll change this one to be on top. Okay, so that should definitely get those done, and then we have to do these real quick here. So this is the metadata store. This is what are you gonna call this? Service to access metadata of a model. Okay. And this one, I wonder if this, yeah, this needs to be public. Okay. So in this case here, we want to do creates an unique experiment with provided name. Okay, don't necessarily need to do that. Okay, creates a unique run for a given experiment. Hope that makes sense. Logs. Huh. Okay, that's fine actually. That's perfect. Logs given metric for a unique for the run. The rest is kind of obsolete. We don't need to provide the parameter names. They are kind of self-explanatory, I think. Service to store a run artifact. Run artifacts. And in this case here, what we want to do here is for the upload model sync, uploads a machine learning model to the model repository. Okay. And relative or absolute file path, I think. Okay. Run ID is self-explanatory, so I'm going to leave that. Alright, get those two flashed out, so that's good. So let's continue down the line here. I think these are internal, so we don't need to worry about those. These are internal. That's good. We do need to go to this one, I think, and just make sure we have all these things flushed out here. So, what do you want to call this to make sense for anyone who's using this? Let's see. We want to do this in a smart way here. Lifecycle manager. Anyone has a suggestion how we want to name this one? This is the general access point, I guess. Let's call it the method catalog, I guess. Method catalog for managing the life cycle of a machine learning model. Very abstract. Okay, so what we'll go ahead and do is we're going to put something here. Creates an experiment. Unique. Actually, do we need to do that on our implementing classes? I don't think so. I think we only need to do it on our interfaces. That is actually pretty good. So we don't need to actually do it on our entities or our services. So I think that's nice. Let's actually remove these because we're not gonna need them on these. Let's actually just add them on our entities themselves. That would be nice. And remove this one too. Like that, we can keep it pretty clean here. Okay, perfect. So let's open up a PR for this change here and get this pushed. This is going to be the issue we just opened here. So it's going to be issue number 52, and we'll get that done. Okay, a new branch. Issue 52. Added summary comments for public interfaces. We'll use that master branch to do that. bring my changes over. We will have the interface here. Okay, I like that. I like that. And we have some kind of merge conflict here. So let's look at that. What is merge conflict? Create a sync. Oh, it's because I see. Let me see if I can get that resolved here. I actually like to use the Visual Studio branch thing here to resolve conflicts. I think it's just easier, but I guess it depends on what you get started with here. So we want to keep the create run async method here that we just created, and we'll go ahead and remove anything else here. So in case there's a comment here, we want to make sure we remove that. And that, I think, is a good merge here. Accept merge. Okay. Like that. Okay. So let's look at this real quick here. Do we have enough things to commit? Okay. Added comments to interfaces. Nice. Push this up here, and we'll go ahead and open a PR and get this merged in. And let's go open a PR. Add summary comments to public interfaces. Interesting, I can't merge automatically. Okay. I have to look at that a bit later. 52. Summary comments to public interfaces. Okay, let's see what kind of merge conflict we have here. I thought I resolved that locally here. Let me actually let me get master here. That's probably the issue. And can I get that latest one and merge that into the branch? We should be good to go after that. That would be a good thing. Okay, let's fetch that. It's almost beer o'clock now, almost 5 PM here. It's warm outside today. Okay, let's do that. We'll go to each 52, bring my changes over. How's it going, AJ? Good to have you on the stream today. Glad you could join. I'm doing a second stream today. I couldn't get enough. So let's fix this issue here. So we're doing some small cleanup stuff here, AJ. And I want this one. Okay, accept merge. So we actually have some people contributing ideas, so we can definitely go through some things here that you should probably also look at. Commit merge. Let's push it up. So one thing that Steve Ashman is doing right now is creating some help there for NuGet packages, so we can get some IntelliSense on them. So what we decided to do here is that we removed all the comments here on the class itself here, like the lifecycle manager. So you don't need to add in the summary comments here. However, what we do instead is we go ahead and add those to our interfaces here. In, for example, experiment and metric and so forth. With that said though, we probably should add an interface to this one so we can add summary comments here. Because right now there's no interface and there's no summary comments on it. So we probably should go ahead and do that, I think. And like that we can provide it. So let's go ahead and add an interface for this specific class here, I think. And get it's a lot of coding, I guess. Well, it's probably nice to do that. So we'll go ahead and add an interface here. interface. We can call this IML. I need to find a better name as well for this. IML Life Cycle Manager. We'll do this as public. We'll call this, we're gonna call this now access point to manage the life cycle of a machine learning model. Okay, and what we'll do is just copy in all these things here, remove the implementation so we have them available for us, and create an interface. So we have that. We'll go ahead and remove this stuff, and we'll go ahead and add summary comments here instead, just to make it a bit easier for us. And I think I actually need the final part here. So we created this one this morning, AJ. We created a generic method here to log metrics in general. So that should be useful, I think. Okay. That's good. And do we need any of this? We do need to do system threading. We do need to remove async because that's an interface, so we don't need that. I was one. What do you mean with one? Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, cool, awesome. I'm glad you're watching that one. Alright, so let's create an experiment here. So in this case here, let's add a good comment for this. Creates a unique experiment based on a given name. And I think the parameters are self-explanatory. For this one is creates a unique run for a given experiment, right? So we added this new one here today, the create run async, which takes an experiment name and creates both an experiment and a run. So you don't have to have two lines of code, which I think is just less verbose. So we'll do creates a unique run and experiment given an experiment name. And what we'll do here is we're going to tell us what we return here. So that's going to be run ID. Here's going to be experiment ID. Here's going to be run ID as well. And then we'll go ahead and add this one here. So that should be log metric async. So this is going to be the simple one. So logs a given metric for a run. That's pretty straightforward. This one here is going to be logs all metrics on logs all evaluation metrics, evaluation metrics for a machine learning model of type double. Let's make that pretty clear here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we want to make it simple as possible for them to use it, and I think this one is a good one, and I think we can add more of those as well for this. Like I like this one for example, because you just pass in like the evaluation result from a binary classifier, and it's going to do it for you everything, and just keep it seamless and easy. And let's see, the model artifact of run. So absolute or relative path to the model. Alright, and final thing we're going to do is we're going to add this interface here, and we have to spell this correctly, otherwise that's not going to be a good thing. Yep, please rename that too, and that's perfect. Alright, that's pretty clean. I like that. So we can go ahead and push that change as well. Added public interface to ML lifecycle manager. Push that up, and we'll go ahead and view the PR, I think. Okay, let's see if this one passes first, and let's review the changes we've done here. So we added something for our interfaces here, and we removed the other ones there. Okay. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate that. I actually just came back from the store getting strawberries and whipped cream. So that's something we usually eat on our national day. Is just being outside eating that. Usually on like June, it's getting just the start of the summer in Sweden, which is super cold. So it's like 18 degrees Celsius or 15 degrees Celsius. So you celebrate that by having strawberries and whipped cream. All right, that looks good. So we're gonna merge this, and we have some nice structure here. Good. All right, so that's good. That's kind of what I want to do there. Let's add a comment to Steve here as well, so he knows that this has been resolved. And let's link to the PR we just closed. I can't believe we have 18 closed PRs already. It's pretty cool. 54. Okay. Added as interface summary comments to 54. It's just closed. Okay. Nice. So that's good. So we can either try to learn and see what Steve is doing here. Yeah, productive weekend. Or we can look into something else, like the Blazor one or something else. I'm trying to think of what I mostly want to do here. I do think what Steve is doing is super important, and I do want to learn more about it. And that would involve creating pipelines and stuff. And maybe that's not exactly what we can do right now without having this all flashed out. But let's see, to do publish PR. So what we need to do here is publish PR packages. But I probably have to look at that. I think I want to read those documentations a bit more first before I make any decisions on that. But that is some really good stuff. So what have we done here? Okay. So if we run that, we're gonna have the artifact as package, and we're going to I guess package up everything here. So how does it look like? Let's look at that actually. Artifact checks. Do we have an artifact here then? Okay, nice. So we're uploading artifacts. We have 3 of them. And we have artifacts here. Let's look at what was done here. So what we ended up having here was probably more than we needed actually. It's the whole release folder with the packages, and what he's creating here is this build version here. This is really good stuff here actually. I like this a lot. I do think we probably don't need the whole package here or the whole folder, but I'm still new to exactly what we're doing here. I want to read this real quick here, so if you want to hang around, that's awesome. If you don't, that's okay. So we're using NerdBank Git versioning. Stamp your assembly's package a more unique version generated from a single simple version ID. Include git commit ID for non-official builds. Okay, good. Okay, I like that. Okay. So we'll do here is that. Okay, it's good. So I think he already added some of these things here, so that should be good. What is deterministic builds though? Okay. Deterministic builds require properties set up to true during CI. Okay. Should not be able local environment. Okay. For GitHub actions, the variables GitHub actions, the result should be that. Okay. That's some nice stuff right there. So, what is he doing exactly here? Thanks, Luis. Good to have you on as well. Yeah, it's a lot of work being done right now. It's a lot of contributors, honestly. I'm trying to kind of keep track of it myself here. Steve here is working on the CI/CD pipelines right now. So I'm trying to review what he's done, because I actually haven't used this package before here. But he's restoring the whole solution, and he's publishing them as artifacts. This I completely get. But we are using some other things here as well. I'm not trying to understand how they fit into this. So this is going to be the XML docs, I guess, we're generating. So that's cool. Target packages here. And these are just the general information about each file. So that's good. Okay. Okay, so this is the deterministic CI builds that he was referencing here. Some nice stuff here. So we're using GitHub actions equals true, then it's a CI pipeline, otherwise not. Okay, so I guess we can set that up with a variable here, that's nice. And then we're including these in our source here. So we're including those two here. And I guess what I will do here is add the package version here to this. Then we have version.json here as well. That's some cool stuff here. Okay, so this is where you can specify the version we have. So if you want to bump up this version to like a beta version or something else, then it will do that for us. That is good to know. And then public release ref. Okay, so master definitely is something else. So let's look at the nerd bank here. Great, so we can see here when we build this, what he was creating was this kind of thing right here. So alpha and then something else here. So I'm wondering why it's 007 here. It's because we still have that in our files here. Because that should have been removed. Not that it's so important, we can fix that, but yep. Pretty good stuff. Let's see this real quick here. Version generation, given the same setting as used in the discussion above. Okay, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. That's good. Okay. So I think I'm going to add a comment to Steve and ask him what he needs next here. Merge this. Does it make sense to, in your experience, does it make sense to publish PR NuGet packages to something like GitHub NuGet packages, or just leave them as artifacts? Make it lowercase, fine. Great. All right. That is actually a lot of time on this specific PR, but that's kind of also what I want to do, go online here, so that's good. And we can go ahead and close this one because we already merged this one. So I'm not sure why it's still open. I thought I did that. Okay. Oh, it's because I didn't do resolves here. Oh, fixes, sorry. Fixes. And we're getting close this one. Okay. Alright. We're getting productive here. So much going on. I know Daniel's working on the SQLite fix today, so we're going to leave that alone. One issue here, AJ or someone else who wants to kind of pick something up, I'm going to leave one issue for you. One thing I saw today is that we still create duplicate experiments. So this is something we probably want to look into if someone has time. So if you run this example again twice, what's going to happen is that we create duplicates of this review predictor experiment, and we all want a unique one. So we do need to modify the code, especially in our Azure implementation here, to just create one of them. So for example, in our metadata storage here, create experiment here. So we don't want to just insert or merge. By some reason this doesn't work properly, and I think it's because we're creating a unique ID and partition key all the time. I think that's gonna solve it actually. You're, I think, right on the money there actually. We do need a GUI though, but I guess we can store that separately anyway. That is true. So okay, let's think of that a bit. What if we set the row? I think you're thinking of the row key, right? We already have the partition key being experiment name here, so you already use that. But I think you're right. Maybe we want to actually put the row key being experiment instead, and that should probably be unique in that case, so it would find it. Okay, let's think of that. And okay. So at least we're not checking against that. That's one of the issues, but we're using an insert or merge operation here. So we're doing a table operation. So right now it's not merging our entities, and it's probably because it doesn't think it's the same. It's like assumes it's different. And I think maybe what kind of AG was alluding to is because we are using the row key as a unique identifier, and every time we create a new experiment it's going to be that. So that's something we should probably look at. Do you want to do it right now and see how it go, or do you want me to save it for someone else to work on? For example, AJ, do you want to work on that, or Luis? I'm happy to do it. Just want to take work from you guys if it's something you want to look at. Just let me know. Silence means that you don't want it. That's okay too. Oh, and the chat is dead. No one is saying a word. Okay. Okay. I'll leave it for now. You don't have to take it, Lise. It's okay. But I'll leave it for now. Okay. Sure. If you want me to sign it, I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll actually make this a bit more specific here. I'll make sure we have it just for Azure. And we probably should create a new one in SQL, but I think the SQLite may actually work because it's a little bit more strict. But I'll sign it, not to myself, sorry, and don't go there. Let's see. So I think you need to comment on this issue before I can sign it, Luis. Do you mind commenting on this issue? By some reason I think that's how it works right now. Feel free to just drop a comment here and we'll get you this assigned to you. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, so that's good. Thank you, Luis. I'll wait for that. And let's see what else we want to tackle today. I think something I want to look at is I kind of failed this morning. I was trying to look at the Blazor work, and without any Blazor experience, this was just a hard fail, honestly. A little sad about that. But I kind of want to go back and look at that again now, because I think I have a better idea of what we want to do, and I want to see if we can create something that makes sense. So if you're willing to bear with me a bit with that, thanks please. We can look at the Blazor implementation and do get something started if you want to. Alright. Thank you, Luis. Oop, I don't want to delete this. Alright. So let's look at a simple Blazor app here to see if we can get some skeleton working at least for something reasonable. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to create a new solution. Make sure I have nothing open here. And I wonder if I want to, so I have this solution right here. Okay. Create a new one. This may be a complete failure, just so you know, but I want to give it a go here. And if it doesn't work, but I need to learn this. And the best way of learning it is by doing it. So I'm going to try my best. And I'm sorry if it's not entertaining. But I'm partially doing it for myself as well this stream. So I need to take advantage of that. And I know you're awesome folks, and you will just drop off if you think it's boring, which is completely okay. So I'm going to do call it mlops.client here. That's the thought. Which is going to be a Blazor client for us that we can use. And the idea is that I want to host it in a Docker container, so anyone who wants to consume this can just pull the Docker container down and use that. So we can either create this solution right here with other solution, or we can create another folder here. I think maybe I want, does it make sense to have a client folder here to dive into, and then we can move everything else into SDK folder maybe? Or is it just maybe it makes sense to have everything in the same place? No, I like it as a client. Keep it separate. Okay. Client. And if not, okay, good, thanks. If not, we'll just move it. I moved everything to source folder today, we'll move it later. So we have these two options. I pulled down the latest .NET Core SDK this morning, or yesterday I think, and I was playing with a WebAssembly this morning, and I think we can make it work if you do like an ASP.NET Core hosted backend. But I do think it's easier and makes more sense for us to do a Blazor server app, because that one can directly be run in a Docker container. It's just going to, I think, have more support right now for the things we want to do. We don't necessarily need this to be in the UI completely. It's okay to go back and render some stuff. And we have so many secrets we're going to store to like Azure connection strings and other things. So I think it makes sense to just open up a Blazor server app, honestly. Luis, do you have more experience with Blazor to kind of give some input here? Or AJ, if you have some experience as well, or anyone else on the stream for that matter. I think it may make sense to have a server app, but I definitely failed on the WASM part completely. Okay, we'll start with the server and we'll see where it goes, and we'll do like a Docker support here directly so we can get that kind of configured. So let's get this running and see where it takes us. By the way, Liz, is it really warm up in Jersey as well for you, or? It's sweltering here. Yeah, I think so too. Alright, so is this the right product? I think so, right? Okay, good. It's very humid. Yeah, I was dying outside today. That's why I'm doing a second stream, because I don't want to be outside. So I'm just doing this instead with you all. Alright, let's try to run this real quick to make sure that the dummy thing works. And then what I want to do is looking at how we want to architect this and do stuff. Actually, does it make sense? Where do we have the... Where do we have our backend? Do we have a backend at all? So we have pages here. And things like the fetch data, boilerplate stuff, and some shared stuff here. So right now there is no like controllers right between these, but everything is rendered in the back end and then pushed back to the front end because it's a server app, which makes sense. So we can actually make it very thin, and what we could do is add some services here and the pages here. In our case here, for example, so let's say that how does a weather forecast thing does, you know, fetch data. What is it doing? It's using the weather forecast service. We're injecting that. That's kind of nice. And then we're just getting that. Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to do fine. I think what I want to create here is like a... Okay, yeah. So I think what I want to do here is I want to create like a, you know, exactly, I want to do that. But I think in terms of services, I want to create a service here for our like metadata store, and then one for our artifact store. And I want to import a NuGet package into this client and just wrap around those instead. Super simple. Then I will inject those in the pages we want to. And like that, it's just going to be a super thin client. And all the logic hopefully will be in the backend here in our NuGet packages instead, so we don't have to do that. And in case we go and want to create a REST API, we can do that later as well. But let's go ahead and try to run this in Docker, make sure my Docker desktop works, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't, and we'll do something else, and that's okay too. Alright, can I just say yes here? Yes, please install the certificates. I'm giving away my life. Please just work. Hopefully that'll be good. Okay, so it's running. Hopefully. Okay, on this page we're opening up something else. This is really good because this is like exactly what we want, right? Right now we're running it in Docker desktop with Linux containers in the backend, and that's kind of what I envision this to do later, because I'm envisioning us pushing an image with all this client on it. And all you need to do when you run this is set like environmental variables or something for the connection string to Azure and setting the type of storage provider, and then you start in the container and everything should work by itself. So that's kind of what I want to do, and this looks really good. This is perfect. So let's kind of clean up this one so we at least have a basic simple one here. So let's stop this container right now, and let's go ahead first of all add what we want to do here so we can do something simple. So one thing I want to do here, this is dying of course now because the server is stopped. I want to do something similar as fetch data to start with to be able to run this. So we're going to copy paste the fetch data one here. Actually, we don't need to copy paste it, we just reuse it. We're going to remove that anyway. And we're going to rename this a bit here, and we're going to call this experiments. And what I want to achieve here is if we can display experiments, that would be a good start here. So experiments, we're going to go to, I think there's a navigation bar here somewhere, nav menu. We're going to remove all of these counters and stuff here. We're going to call this experiments because it's a page. And I'm not a UI person, first of all. So if you are thinking that I'm doing something wrong, yeah, I'm doing something wrong because I'm not a UI person. And that's why I'm doing it as well, because the only way to learn is by trying it. If you don't try it, you definitely won't learn. Alright, so we have experiments here. We can remove that. Let's call this experiments. And we have that. So I want to do like a code behind file, and I think what we can do here is create something called like, is it like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but experiments Blazor CS, or is it actually, do we have something for it already? Code file. Okay, yep, that's exactly what we want. We want a code file here. Blank C# code file, experiments. We want to do that. Perfect. And I guess what we want to do here is do public class, partial class. I think that's it. And we want to move all this code to the code behind here. I think. So in our case here, we want to do here, we want to override this on initial sync, and we want to fetch all the experiments we have here from our service. So what we're going to do is we're going to probably put this in here. I'm sure there's something we're missing here, probably an override. Is it component based, something like that? Let's go ahead and Google for that real quick here. How to add partial Blazor code behind. Let's see. Public partial class counter base, but I think it needs to inherit from something as well. Otherwise it probably won't work. Component base, okay. I thought it was, I heard that on a talk sometime from, I think Carl Franklin mentioned that. Okay, maybe it is this one. Hopefully. And let's use threading here. Okay. So I'm not sure if we need a namespace here as well. Maybe not. We'll see. So instead of forecast here, we should be able to do something else. So experiments here, we have this one right here. So what we can do is probably create. Wow, Sean is hosting my stream with 1 viewer. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. That is nice of you. Okay, so let's go ahead and move in with this one right here. So I think what we want to create here is a list of experiments, right? So this is going to be fun. We're going to create a variable of experiments, and this is going to be I experiments, right? And we may probably want to think about how we do this. We want to have a wrapper class around this or not later. But for now, I think we will just do this and call this experiments. And I will just create this a new list right now. And to be able to get access to these, I do think we need to get the NuGet packages, and we have pushed them not too long ago, so we'll go ahead and add those. So we can go to the package console here and go ahead and add them. So install package mlops.net Azure, and we should be able to pull down the alpha version, hopefully. Maybe. Should be good. It did not work. Okay, so we probably need to, let's do this. I think it's a pre-release, I think, so it will need some work here. So we'll do mlops.net here. Hopefully we find that. Okay, that's the one we want. And we'll get the Azure version to make sure we get everything else we need. Pull that in here. We'll install the alpha version. And we should be good here. Nice. So I know AJ, you're in New Zealand, and Luis, of course, you're in the US. Where else in the world are we from here? Anyone from the Scandinavian countries or Europe, or are all those already gone to bed? Look at that, perfect. Experiments. Alright, nice. So that's exactly what we want right here. So now we can kind of hold a list of experiments here. So what I'm hoping is, eventually of course we're going to populate that from calling it, but right now I just want to make this work simply. So if we go back here, we can remove this code behind here, because we have done that. And we can then loop over our experiments here. Experiment. And we'll say if experiments is null, then wait. And things we'll have here, let's open up Azure to see, actually don't need to do that, we can just go to our class here. Okay, I think, okay, first of all, let's fix this issue. I think it needs to be protected or something if we're going to get access from a code behind file. So let's do that real quick here. Does it need to be public because it's partial class, or protected? I haven't used partial classes in a while. And maybe it needs something as well on it. Let's see, is it because it needs an attribute maybe? No, that's not attributed anywhere. Let's go back to that page and see if we can learn something new here. Okay. Component base. And then, okay, protected, I guess. In the front, you have to add experiment Razor, let's see, something like that. Okay. Maybe you just need to be protected though. Let's try that first, and then I definitely want to look at that later. That's a good point, Louise. It seems that they're linked to me at least, so thank you for the follow, Shanram. Protected. And where to go? Okay, I think you are onto something, Louise. Okay, name change with base. Do you mean that this one needs to be under the base? The experiments base instead of experiment? Is that what it is? I guess this one is doing that. Is that required? Seems like a strange convention, I think. Maybe. Let's scroll up here. Creating a link and code behind. Okay, this is probably what we're missing. Yeah, you may be on something, Sharam. First, consider the code behind. Name is very important. Okay. Interesting. Yep, you are completely right, Sharam. Thank you for mentioning this. Seems like that's exactly the issue. That's an interesting convention, but as long as you, I guess, learn it. Okay. Is this sufficient? Maybe I need to create a new class then, because I think I unlinked it now. Which is not what I wanted to do, but that's okay. Fetch data Razor. Oh, okay, no need to change filing. Okay, let me change that back then. You mean just a class needs to be called base. That makes sense. So this one needs to be called experiments base, I guess. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let me see if this works now. Let's build this. Maybe that helps. Experiments. So I'm missing something here. Is it because? Oh, Jesus. Sorry for the stupid issues. Pretty simple things. Oh, yep. All right, we're getting beer service here. Thank you. Cheers for everyone who wants to do that. All right. Okay, so we have an interesting issue here. Contains a character. So we have an issue here somewhere. Is it probably? Did I make a mistake here somewhere and we're just not seeing it? Let me look at what it was before and what we can do to fix this. And I will fetch this one real quick to do that. If you see the fetch data Razor page here, let me know. Let's see. Okay, where is it? Okay, let's skip that right now. Cheers, Liz. Cheers. Cheers. Alright. Come on. I'm almost thinking of creating a new one here because something is obviously wrong. I think it has to do with namespace. I bet you that we need a namespace here because right now the different namespace. Yeah, exactly. Let's do that. What is the default namespace of these things here? Let's create that. So namespace mlops.net client. And I guess you can tell already that I'm more a machine learning person and backend C# than I'm a front-end person. But that's why I'm doing this. I guess it should be client pages, I think, here. because that's kind of where we are right now. MLOps.net client pages. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere now, because I think the errors are at least different. Yep, this looks better. So let's at least change this real quick here. Okay, let's remove those for now. So we're getting somewhere. Okay, experiments not exist in the current context. Okay, but otherwise we are good. And I think protected is what we want. Let's go ahead and look here again. So we want the same name. Got that. Check. Next we'll link the markup proportion of Blazor to code behind, and component will inherit from component base. Okay, that's good. So we've done that. We have added that namespace pages. Yep. So we got that done. That's good. And that was exactly what we're missing. So why is it not working yet? Oh, I think, okay, I see. We have to inherit as well here. Yeah. I think you are on top of it. Chandran, what's your first name? Let's see, client. Inherits. Let's do that. Sean. Awesome. Well, glad to have you on the stream today. Is it your first time joining in here? Let's see if that works. Nice. Perfect. Yeah. Welcome. Well, we're building an MLOps tool for ML.net here for machine learning in C#. And right now we're building the client side of this. So we're having some fun doing that. Well, thank you very much for your help with it so far. This has been great. So at least we have this flushed out now. So given that we have that, now we can go look at the experiments. So in our tool here that we're building in on GitHub. Yeah, well, let's take a look at that for anyone who's joining now. So not sure how familiar you are with machine learning, but you know, when we do machine learning, we train a model, and when we train a model, we have things like accuracy and scores to determine how good the model is. And when we train a model, we also need to track where the data is coming from that's used for the model, and the code and the configuration, and we want to have that auditability for all these things. We can do machine learning in C# using a library called ML.net, which is really awesome. But one of the things we're missing in this community right now is a way to manage our machine learning models. So for example, if I use a GitHub action to train my model, there's no way for me to track where it goes. There's no way to track how good it is or anything like that. So what we're doing is creating a tool here that is a NuGet package that will track the experiments and our runs. So each time you train a model, it will track how good it is with metrics in Azure Storage or SQLite, and it will also upload the model to a storage container in Azure. And we're still building that SDK package. It's in alpha version right now. But what we want to do as well is to create a simple Blazor client on top of that, so we can visualize the experiments and runs and the machine learning metrics for us. So that's what we're doing right now, is to create a scaffolding Blazor app that we can add issues to and continue building. So that's fun. That was kind of the gist of it. An experiment in itself is like a machine learning model that we are doing. And what I want to do right now is look at what kind of properties we have. So for an experiment right now, we only have the name and ID. I think eventually we'll have something more here. But for now, let's just display those and see if we can get this Blazor app to work at the minimum. So we'll add ID as column here. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull these from SQL storage, or sorry, Azure storage here. Name. So we'll go ahead and experiments here. We'll add a table row here, and we'll do it. Is it experiment dot ID, I think, right? Also, while it goes, since I used razor syntax. Yep, nice. Okay, the at symbol is cursed. Perfect. Alright. Add another one here, and that's gonna be the name. Okay, so at least that should do the trick here. So what we want to do now is we want to create a simple service to get this. Actually, let's run this and see if it actually works at all. And if it does, then that's a good start. Experiments, because I want to make sure we have everything set up properly. Apart from that, experiments. Okay, nice. So we have a simple table. That is a good start for our model. Let's go ahead and remove all the obsolete stuff here, and then let's hook this up to our backend service here. So we don't need a counter, because I want to check this in at some point here. Index, okay, let's look at that later. We don't need a weather forecast, so let's remove that. And we don't need a service, this is just doing stuff, and that's fine, but we don't need that. We'll need this later though, so we'll keep that. Absolutely, yeah, happy to paste that in. And we're still early in the process, so if you want to contribute and join us with this, that's completely fine. We'd love to. You don't need too much machine learning experience, honestly, to get started. This is more like software engineering DevOps. But we have a alpha package in NuGet, and we have a simple CI pipeline here, and we have issues, and I try to kind of label them a good first issue for those that you can get started with if you wanted to. Alright, back to the code. That's good. That's good. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and see if we can hook this up. So we have this program and a startup file. So we need to be able to inject our lifecycle manager here, I think, to get things. And we will need to add some kind of singleton or service here for that. So one way of doing this is, of course, adding the connection string in our app settings JSON. And I think I want to do that. Let's see how this is synced up here. And configuration should be passed in, right? Application. Okay, so we have configuration right here. So it was a while ago since I used the new version here. If I add a new file here, let's say connection strings.json, will it pick it up automatically, or I need to configure that by itself as well? Does anyone know that for sure? So what I'm thinking of doing here, I can do it actually, and you can kind of interject here how I would do this. But what I want to do, I want to do like a file we check in, but we can have secrets locally, for example, to an Azure storage here. So for example, I want a JSON file here. Actually, I can just add it for now in this absence JSON, and I will do it later, and I won't check this in. And we'll say Azure storage, and I will pull this file to the side here, add this in here, and we'll get this configured. And I'll do the details a bit later, I think, for this specific scenario. So just bear with me for 1 second when I copy this secret in here. And let's see. Should be a good one. Hopefully that will work. Okay, we'll close this one. Alright, so. Alright, let me see the link that you sent here. Oh, okay. See, I've worked too long in legacy projects to see all these cool things here. Okay, so let's try that. Why not? That's a great thing to try. So you said if I can right click on the project, manage user secrets here. Okay. And okay. So if I do this, is this like I can add this in here, right? Okay. That makes sense. So I should be able to put like something, I'm not gonna do it right now, I guess, but I will be able to do something like this, right? Connection strings, and then do like, hello. Okay, that's good. But why can't I do that? Azure storage. Okay, let's do Azure storage. Alright, I am learning. I have been stuck too long in like legacy app and other things, apparently. Alright, let me pull this over to the side and we'll get this set up as well and we'll try it. Thank you guys for you know, showing that. This is super useful. Let's pull this whole thing actually over here in case I open up the app setting secrets here. I already had to, kind of funny, actually I had to reset my connection string this morning because I showed it during the stream. And it's not that I don't trust you guys, it's just this is going to be on YouTube and I would prefer if I don't have to pay more charges for Azure than I already do. It's kind of nice. Okay, so I added that in there. Let's pull this back again. Alright, so that's good. So with that, what we want to do here, I guess, is we have the configuration here, that's perfect, and we want to add, we actually don't want a singleton, we can add a transient here, and we want to do that as IML life cycle manager. Is that a public interface now? Oh, I think actually the one we have online is not that, so we have to use the simple one, but that's okay. We'll do a type for now. We've pushed the new change actually today with an interface instead, but it's not available in NuGet yet, so we'll just kind of live with this right now. But we do need to set this up because it's going to require that we actually set up the connection string here correctly. So we'll wire that up real quick here. Can we add a type instead here? So let's see. What I want to do here is, I'll just write on the code here. What I want to do is ML lifecycle manager, use Azure storage, and I want to do configuration. I want to do connection strings Azure storage, and I want to pass that into something here because we need to set this up, and I think we need to change how we implement this to be more I guess Blazor friendly, but that's something we can do later. So I don't think I can. Okay, can I do this? No. Okay, we'll skip this for now, honestly. I think I will do it straight in the service instead, and we'll manage this a bit later. So what I want to do here is model lifecycle service. Let's call it model service. Let's call it metadata service. Model service is fine. Okay, we'll pull this out of here for now. We'll go ahead and put it here. So eventually we want to inject this instead, but I don't want to take the time for that right now. I need to figure that out better first. We can probably get this one right. So configuration is going to be an issue, but that's fine. We can inject this right and do that real quick here. Configuration. We'll go ahead and go back to where we were before and make sure we wire this up properly. So here we can at least do add transient. We'll call it iModel service. We'll go ahead and add an interface to this one here. And we'll put that in a separate file maybe later. Maybe not. Actually, we don't need to do that. We can just use the way we did before. That's okay. I do want to get to like a working prototype. That's kind of what my goal is. My goal is not to get something super flashy right now. Okay. Perfect. And I don't want the var. I want to have a field here. this apparently didn't want to do that, so private ammo master manager, put that here, and perfect. Okay, that's good. So what I wanted to achieve here is I want us to create a method where we can do like public get experiments, and what's going to do here is return a list of I experiments, and we can use that for our page here. Cool. And all we want to do here is just oh, that's true. Don't think we have a method for that right now. We're not exposing a method for it. But we can just fake that right now. I don't think we have that list. But in our case, let's just fake a method here, and then we'll have to add that in a different stream, maybe on Tuesday. But here at least it's the case that we want to add an experiment to this. And do that. Is there anything we can do on this one to make sure it works? I'm trying to think of, do we have anything on this one that we can try? We can log model, that's fine. Let's create an experiment just for fun here. I want to make sure we, well, of course we can create an experiment. I want to create an experiment. I'm going to try to create an experiment, and the reason why I want to do that is because I want to make sure that this works with the secrets. And if that works, that's good. So we'll do that. We'll do task. Create experiment async. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and okay. Cool, okay, let's look at the link then. It's fair enough. So you don't think I can just inject it like that? Okay. Enable secret storage, okay. So we have to initialize the secrets, okay. Okay, so let's do that. Thank you for that comment, Sean. So we'll go ahead and initialize that real quick here. Go to a specific folder. Source, cd client. Okay. And I expect us to have to go into this one, I guess. .NET user secrets. Let's go back one, I guess. Is it because we're not specifying the specific one? Oh, I think it's because we have to go into one more here. That's why. Okay. So we have use secret ID already. That's good. Define app secret because the key value secret search with the user secrets. Okay. So if I run that. Okay. So I feel like I've done everything I need to do there, Sean. Instead of doing this, I actually went into the file and did it myself. So I think we're good. But okay, accessing the secret, okay. So we need to do something else here. Okay. So I guess we need to do this. In development, we need to add user secrets for the program. Okay, that probably makes sense. Is this the last step, right? Is this what you're referring to? I think so. Let's go ahead and do that. So, okay, perfect, thank you. In In here, I guess then is app instead. Is that it? Okay, so it's different in here. So why is that? Oh, it's because we are not doing configuration, app configuration. I see. We're not running that one specifically. No, is it in program that's CS? Ah. I see, and we have to check that we're in development here as well, because we don't want to do this otherwise. Come on. Does this work at least? Doesn't contain a reference to that neither. And why is that? And let's see, configure app configuration, configure web host defaults though, it's a bit different. I guess we have to do that. Okay, we have to do that as well then. Let's copy this whole thing here. And go ahead and do that. So we'll do that after here. We'll move this one right here. Okay, that's better. Nice. Okay, so that should probably get us something here. Use secrets for that one. Okay. Okay. Alright, so that's good. So now we should be able to do something here, right? I want to try this one and see if this works now. So what I want to do here is async task create experiment, and this is just to check the connectivity, and we'll do this manager create experiment sync, and we'll pass in a new exp here and see if this works. Put a breakpoint here. Let's build this and see if this built at all. It may not. Wow, I'm on 1,000 views now on this channel. That's great. Okay, we can remove some of this stuff we don't need. So we have fetch data eraser. I thought that was already removed and clean up. Where is that? And that should have been cleaned up already. So where is that? Let's clean that solution and get this working. Oh, okay, here is the issue. We don't need that one. We do need to inject our own service though here instead. You're better than ReSharper, Sean. You're sharp. Okay, model service. I actually don't think we need this. Well, maybe we need this actually. So what I'm wondering to do is, I think, should we be able to, first of all, let's see this builds without this one. Hopefully it builds without this one. Okay, good. So what I was hoping we can do instead is, can't we just do this instead? And what if I want to inject the model service here? Can't I do that real quick? Like experiment base model service. Or do I need to just do I need to use inject instead? That I don't know. I feel like this would be the appropriate way of doing it, but maybe not. Okay, so let's try this real quick here to see if this works. Alright, let's run this and see if we get something. Of course we have a build error. Okay, so we probably can't have a... okay, we have to use inject. Alright, alright, alright. That was fun for a while. Okay. I think we have a Blazor expert here. So we can do like inject, is that it? And then model service, and then model service here. Is that it? So do we need to, I guess, make this one a public property as well here? Is that oh, in code behind. Yeah. So isn't, okay, so you want to do, okay, I see. So you want to do like inject here for the attributes? Huh, okay, that's pretty neat. Sweet. So what is the issue here? Okay, property, I get it. Wow, I'm learning Blazor on the fly here on with the help of you guys. Alright, so you think that's gonna work? Did that get cleared out? One failed. Okay, we have this one here. Alright, let's run it. Let's see if this works. Alright, Sean, you have to join every stream now because you're obviously super helpful. So, or you can just contribute to the repo yourself. That's even better, I think. But then I will learn less. Alright. So, if I go to experiments, will I get a breakpoint here? Hopefully. Or not. Well, there was something we don't know, right? Something we learn. That's why we're doing this. Alright, so this is breaking or not happening, which is sad. I wonder if I can debug this in I wonder if the reason why I can't debug it is because in Docker. I don't think so. I think that should be fine. Let me comment this out to see if let me comment this out to see if this starts without this, first of all. There's something going on here, I think, that it's not working as expected. So I want to check that. Okay, starting up the container image again. Do we add model service to container? Oh, here it breaks at least. Okay. I don't think we did. What do you mean with that specifically? Okay, here's, oh, it's obviously breaking otherwise here. So we did not do anything specific with model server. Oh yeah, that's true. I think we did, yeah. So we did here add transient model service, right? So I think we added it here. And in model service, let's put a breakpoint there actually, because I think we have an issue here. This is probably where the issue is. Or maybe, yeah, there may be an issue getting the connection string, or there may be an issue with something else. Who knows? It may be an issue getting the storage here, maybe the wrong type. Something is definitely throwing an exception here. Let's go to experiments. Okay, good. We're at least breaking here. So I configuration. Do we have our secrets here somewhere? Okay, secret JSON. Okay, good. And we have count. Okay, good. So we have that. I'm curious to see if the issue here is the wrong format of the secret or if it's something else going on here. And to figure that out, we're going to put this in a separate variable, so we at least can debug this. It's possible that it's just renamed wrong, and I'll have to look at that in that case. Okay, that is good. Let's try it again. Okay, get a new page up here, experiments. So, okay, so we are getting null here, that's the issue. Okay, so something is wrong with this one. So let me pull this over and just quickly debug what that string is called. So I don't want to expose that to the YouTube and to Twitch. It's probably just a naming issue here, and be quick if I look at the name real quick here, and we'll figure this out. This has been super useful, by the way. Thank you. I'll definitely continue this on Tuesday and hopefully get some kind of skeleton up and running. Maybe I'll do a stream tomorrow to get something working here. So if we click on experiments, I am now into this folder. I'm looking at configuration here and the providers, and we're going to look at the secrets provider and see if we have things, and it's called connection string. Okay, that's the issue. So we'll rename it. Perfect. So apparently the name was not strings, this was string, and of course we should call it something else, but that's okay. So let's see. I'll keep a breakpoint here just to make sure things work, and we'll take it from there, I think. That would be awesome if this works. At least we have something appropriately working then, which would be a good start. Alright, we have this open and running. We have a breakpoint in our app. We have... Okay, so we have the same issue now as I had actually in my predictor app before. So I have the same issue earlier, and I think it's just the format of this. So I'm going to pull it aside, edit secrets real quick, because I want to get this fix working. There's obviously an issue in my format here. Okay. And let's do that. So I just fixed the connection string real quick here, hoping that if I run it again it will work. I have the same issue with my secret in my GitHub action, so something is up with the format of the string, and we don't like that. Okay, good, that works. So now we should be able to go here, and hopefully this would work as well. Create experiment, hopefully, and that will go into model service. Nice. Alright, so I think we actually have connectivity, and that's number one. We have connectivity between our Blazor app now, and we have connectivity between the cloud, where we have the Azure storage place. So the next steps here will be to start exposing methods in ISDK to get things from whatever storage provider we have, SQLite or Azure Storage, and display that here in the UI and get something working. So that's neat, honestly. So to wrap things up here, because I do need to make some dinner, is I'm going to continue looking at this tomorrow or on Tuesday, and we will eventually start putting a PR open for this so we can have a skeleton working. But for now I'm happy with this, and I want to eventually add some more information here so we can get this properly working. But super thank you to everyone who joined the stream today, especially Sean. Thank you for the things you helped with and the things you taught me. I appreciate that. I hope you all have a fantastic Saturday and are enjoying the rest of the weekend. Thank you everyone. Have a good one. Bye bye.